Assalamu alaikum. Last time we reviewed the different types of verbs and I presented different tables that can show the different types. Today we continue with this text. Now here is the present tense letters. They are joined in this one word, anaitu. So each one of these is a present tense letter. And as we talked before, here it says وهو مرفوع أبدا. It's always marfu'. The literal meaning of marfu' is raised. And in grammar what it means, it has a certain mark that indicates the way you pronounce it at its end. So its end changes depending on the state of that verb. So by default it's always marfu'. أبدا, forever, أبدا. So وهو مرفوع أبدا, so it is raised forever أبدا, meaning by default. حتى يدخل عليه ناصب أو جازم. حتى, until, حتى يدخل. Notice يدخل here is a present or a non-past verb. This is the present tense letter, yeah, one of these. يدخل, he enters. يدخل, this is a present tense or non-past verb. This could indicate the future or the present. And as I said, it should be marfu', which means it should have this, this should be in black color to match this color here. So يدخل, that's the default for it is يدخل. If I continue, if I pause, I don't pronounce this movement here. But if I continue, يدخل عليه, notice I said this يدخل. But notice the movement that they gave it here. It's because of this حتى, until. In this context, this حتى here means until. If this comes before the present tense verb, it takes this sound. That's why you hear me say حتى يدخل عليه. I did not say حتى يدخل. In a different structure or different sentence, you will hear me say يدخل. That's the default. But here, this حتى had an effect on this verb. So it becomes يدخل. So يدخل عليه. عليه, on it. He is it in this context. There is no it in Arabic, but this is the masculine, he, him. But here it refers to an inanimate subject, so it's it in English. I would translate it. So عليه, on it. So this is على. If you add a pronoun to it, this a becomes ya, because that's its origin. So it becomes عليه, on it. Enters upon it, or enters to it. You can understand it like this. It enters. What they mean by enter, it comes before it like this. So it has an effect on it. So now, nasib. Nasib is what we talked about. There are marks to show nasib. One of them is this a here. If it ends with a consonant, this a is used if there is a tool. This tool here is called one of the tools that you can call nasib. So because this tool, hatta, until, this caused this to go use this short vowel a, it's called nasib because it caused it to take this mark. So the tools or the conditions that cause this to take this a here, if it ends with a consonant, it's called nasib. You can call any one of them is nasib. The plural for it is nawasib. So here it says فالنواصب عشرة. The nawasib, the tools that cause this state to take this a, the present tense or non-past verb to take the a here, are 10, عشرة. So here nasib أو جازم, أو or جازم. Jazm is one of these tools here. And jazm, if it's a tool that comes before the non-past verb and cause it to take this circle here. So this circle would be on the last letter of a non-past verb if one of these tools circled in red comes before it. And this one here should be yellow. So this here is yellow to match these. So the plural for nasib, these tools that cause this a short vowel there, are 10. And these are these tools. So an, lan, idhan, kay, lamu kay, which here it says it's the L. You will see an L letter like this before the present or the non-past verb. And this in that context means K, for. This K means for something. So lamu K, you can use an L to give this meaning. That's why they say lamu K, meaning the L that comes before the present tense. And in the context of the sentence, it indicates for. Walamu al-juhud. There is another lam. It's also an L, but the context will tell you it's to negate the verb. So we will see examples of these. Wahatta. Here they should not, these dots should not be there. So this you pronounce hatta. Wahatta, we have an example of it here. Hatta yadkhula. So if you're reading a text and you see the non-past verb, you recognize it as such, and you see an a on it, not an u as it should be in a default state, by default. So you'll look at the tool or the word before it. So if it's one of these 10, you know why now. That's how it's pronounced. A yadkhula. If you continue the sentence, of course. So I can say an yadkhula, lan yadkhula, idhan yadkhula, wa kay yadkhula, liyadkhula. This lam kay, lamu kay is liyadkhula. Walam al-juhud, another word will come before this L to indicate this juhud, or not negation, denying. So it will become ma kana liyadkhula. Ma kana liyadkhula. It's a structure in the language that this is the name for it, lam al-juhud. So it's another L. وحتى يدخل, just like here. And now there are other contexts. You make a statement and you answer it. You answer the conditional or the previous part of the sentence, which is asking for something or tells you that something has to happen. You answer that. You continue the meaning by fa. So it's called wal jawab, answering by fa, bil fa, or bil waw, wa, or aw. So we will see examples of these, that you finish the sentence by answering by one of these, fa, wa, or aw, which come before the verb. So you can hear فيدخل ويدخل أو يدخل, فيدخل ويدخل أو يدخل. So these are the 10 tools that cause the present tense to take this a short vowel if it ends with a consonant, and there is no pronouns attached to it here. So just like this here, حتى يدخل. Now, of course, this O is the default. Now, it would lose any movement here if one of these comes before it. So here it's called jawazim. Jazm, we discussed this before. It causes it to lose the short vowels if the letter it ends with is a consonant. Or if it's a vowel, you omit the vowel. If it's one of the 5 verbs that ends with an N, you omit the N. We talked about the different ways of jazm. This description, jazm, is a tool that causes that state. In this case, lose the vowels. And the mark for it is this small circle. Here, you see all these are the small circle, example of this small circle, but it's darkened. It's not, you can't see the empty part of it. So these are supposed to be small circles. They look like this. So this here indicates no short vowels there. So wal-jawazim is the plural of this jazm, meaning the tool that causes the non-past verb to lose its vowels if it ends with a consonant. the letter, last letter of it is a consonant, it will not have any vowels on it. So these are 18. These are 18. So you're reading a text and you will see it lost its short, the vowels on it. It has only this mark there. Look before it and you will see one of these 18. Of course, you will not see all these that often. So like here, إذا, it's only used in poetry. وإذا في الشعر خاصة. So this one, if it's used with a non-past verb, in poetry, they usually do this because they lose the short vowels on the non-past verb. These here, of course, depending how the language is used. So these are the tools. لم, ولما, وألم, وألم. And some of these will only cause this to one verb. And others are conditional, so which means you need two verbs in the sentence with some of these tools. And this means that this tool will cause two verbs to lose, in the case of a verb ending with a consonant, to lose the short vowels. So these 18, you will see it before the verb or before two verbs, depending on which one is being used. لم, لما, ألم, ألم, ولام الأمر. It's an L like this, but it will indicate a command or a request. الأمر والدعاء. الأمر and الدعاء, command and request. ولا في النهي والدعاء. This la also is used and it can indicate forbidding something or also requesting. So either one of these, it will be meant by it. So this one is also one of these tools that cause jazm, meaning you get the circle with it. So لام النهي والدعاء. وإن, ما, إن, ما, من, مهما, إذما, أي, متى, وأيان, وأين, وأن, وحيثما, وكيفما, وإذا. So this should not have this one here, these dots there. So these are in, ma, man, mahma, idma, ay, mata, ayana, aina, anna, حيثما, كيفما, وإذا. Thank you for listening. We will continue with this next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.